All right, so this is Matt with Elevate Glass, and I'm hanging out with Micro. Micro, how long have you been blowing glass?
I'm at year 20 this year.
20 years. Okay. How did you get into blowing glass?
Just being fast at pipes, really. Kind of like the puzzle solving aspect of it, of like looking at things and not being able to understand how they were made or layered in certain ways, just kind of drew me into it. I'm a really puzzle solving kind of guy, so that definitely caught my attention right away.
Okay. And where did you start blowing glass?
I originally learned from Jerry Kelly in Massachusetts. He basically just gave me 5 days worth of lessons, and then I went back to Milwaukee and set up a torch on my kitchen table in an apartment building and got to town.
That's it's the story of most of us, to be honest with you. Starting with humble beginnings for sure. Where do you blow glass now? Are you still out of
Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Milwaukee?
Yep, yeah, still
Okay.
there. I've probably gone through a dozen shops since I started, but currently live in a 14,000 square elementary school that we bought and remodeled into a glass shop and an apartment and another unit that we rent out, and we've got like all the race car stuff there too as well, 6-car garage, and it's a pretty big part of my free time is racing cars. So
Okay.
yeah.
So do you have a large studio then? You said you have a studio space. Is it a studio with multi glass blowers in there, or is it?
It's like a pretty well appointed small-ish studio. So I've got three workstations, one lathe, cold work room with kind of all the bells and whistles, faceting machine, flat lap, a bunch of grinders and saws and stuff. And then a little office in the front and a break room up top and a little shipping area. So it's really deluxe, but really for about 1 to 3 people,
Gotcha.
And it's always a different number of people in there. Currently, we've got me and Jay Fell in the studio.
Okay. So it fits your needs at least.
Yep.
Who do you look up to in the glass game?
Oh, wow. I mean, it's like there are so many, but I would say probably the biggest inspiration, probably Scott Deppie. Everybody talks about Snodgrass as being the original founder, and I certainly agree, but when I started blowing glass, Deppie was the dude that everybody looked up to and was like absolutely pushing the boundaries, and to this day still just everything he makes is absolutely insane. So
Yeah, he cuts no corners. There's a lot of big names in the industry, and he's definitely one of the biggest. Do you have a particular style that you would consider yours or that you love to do? I know you're into making. Do you call them millis or marinis?
I'm not really one that will like correct someone. Oh, it's actually Murini or Milli Fiore. I call them millis generally. It's kind of a loose term, A lot of these glassblowing terms come from Italian words, and us American glassblowers just bastardize all of the terminology completely. So, Milli, Murini, whatever. I generally call them millis, though. But yeah, that's basically what I specialize in. I probably about 10 years ago I started doing these layered Murini scenes. Some of the first ones were with like trees and stuff like that, and then I eventually developed it into this Super Mario World series that I embarked on for like 7 years, and now am continuing with the next game in the Mario series. So, basically layered Murini scenes are kind of what I'm known for.
Yeah, I know I've watched the webinar that you did and gave me a lot of inspiration for the Millie game. Or Marini, I'm not sure what the true terms are, but I do appreciate you putting your work out there and letting us, teaching us what you know about it. I know that the color list that you gave us is what helped me the most in that webinar.
Nice. Yeah, that was a really fun project to do, and especially being able to convey the information in such a unique way is awesome. I mean, when I started, there was literally no one that you couldn't find someone's phone number to call to ask them, and if you did ask them, they would say, "No, I'm not teaching you anything ever." So, I came from this really closed book style of learning. So now seeing all of the wealth of information out on the internet and stuff makes me, way more excited to do those kind of projects where you can just put the information in the hands of so many people. I don't know how many people have watched that webinar already, but I feel like it's a lot.
Like I said, I definitely watched it and I learned plenty from it, so I do appreciate it. What do you see? So, who do you currently work with? I apologize.
Jay Fell is the only other artist in the studio right now.
Okay, and
Or
do
you
you?
mean, or you mean in
Yeah,
general
as far
life?
as
Oh,
like
okay.
some of your bigger collabs that you're
I
more.
guess, like hardest part for me being geographically located in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Um, all of the really fun stuff, and generally glassblowers hang out where fun stuff is. They're pretty far from me, so I got to talk them into coming out, or I got to go out to them. So I don't really have people that I like regularly collab with. So it kind of comes down to, can I talk someone into coming out for a visit, or can I squeeze in a visit to their studio? I work with Salt a lot. I recently did a collab with him 3 months ago. Him and the family came out and stayed with me for a little while, and we did a really cool piece together. I do a lot of work with Eric Ross. He's also a Midwest guy, so it's easy to get together with him. Cap'n Crunk has been a good friend of mine for 20 plus years, and he's 5 minutes up the road from me, so we work together quite a bit too. Really kind of just depends on who's around at the time. I mean, it's such a big scene that I, like to try to keep the door open to whoever.
Yeah, that's what I love about the glass blowers is you guys are all very willing to work with just about anybody.
Yeah, I try to be. I mean, most scenes aren't as friendly as this, and I mean, you don't necessarily have an open door anywhere you go, but like, as long as you're a nice person and generally pretty agreeable and easy to get along with, it's wild how much opportunity just presents itself in this industry.
Definitely. So, what do you see for your future in this industry?
Boy, I don't know. I mean, I'm probably gonna just be sticking with millis at this point. I'm so deep into the milli, mirini, whichever you want to call it, game at this point that getting out of that would probably be a bad idea. I mean, I've developed a certain skill set that goes along with it, and I look at millis that I made a year ago and think, wow, that could have been better. That could have been better. So I'm still growing every day too. So. I still try to once a year take a class from somebody in some kind of discipline that's like outside of my normal wheelhouse. Like I think next I'd like to take a sculptural class just to try to do some of that stuff because, I mean, you naturally will end up making a certain kind of work, and if you're not good at one thing, you're going to avoid it like crazy. And I'm kind of just trying to go through the problem as opposed to around it by taking some of these classes.
Definitely, yeah. Diversity is a good thing. So I have two more questions for you. The first one would be, do you believe in aliens?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Perfect. And then what do you think an alien would do for a Klondike bar?
Probably just vaporize your entire planet. Yeah.
Yeah, you're done. I got the secret. We're out of here, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking that if they actually get to the point where they're coming here, they're going to have superior technology enough to where they can take whatever kind of Klondike bars they like from us.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you, sir. I do appreciate your time. Do you have anything to add to it?
No, I mean, thanks a lot for the interview. If anybody wants to reach out to me, I can be found at Instagram at Mike Rose Workshop and on Facebook as well.
Well, thank you, sir. We do appreciate your time.
Thanks, man.
Awesome. Thanks, brother. That was
What do you
perfect.
guys do with those?
So he's gonna.